The Disappearance of 83 Villages. Intro. Imagine this. You wake up one morning to find that the village you've lived in all your life is gone. Not burned, not looted, just empty. Houses stand still. Food is left on tables. Chickens wander the dirt roads. But your friends, your neighbours, your family, every single person has vanished without a trace. Now, imagine this didn't happen once, but 83 times. Tonight, on this podcast, we're going to explore one of the strangest and most chilling mysteries of all time: the disappearance of 83 villages. Stay with me. And maybe keep a light on, because... Scene 1. The first vanishing host. Low, leaning in. The story begins in the late 1800s, in a place most people couldn't find on a map today, a stretch of farmland and forests in Eastern Europe. There was a small farming village called Bariska. It wasn't wealthy, but it was lively. Every Sunday, people gathered in the square, trading bread, wool, and stories. But one morning, traders from the next town over arrived, and what they saw would haunt them for the rest of their lives. Wind was silent, doors hung open, soup still boiled in iron pots over dying fires. A loaf of bread was half sliced, as if someone had stepped away mid-task. But there were no people, not a single one. 300 villagers had simply disappeared. Scene 2. Fear spreads. At first, everyone thought it was a raid. Maybe bandits, maybe soldiers. But if that were true, where was the blood? Where were the bodies? Where were the signs of struggle? There was nothing. And then, weeks later, another village went missing, and then another. By the turn of the century, 7 villages had disappeared the same way. Over the next 50 years, the number would grow to 83. Slow, then gradually faster. Entire communities swallowed by silence. 83 villages gone. Scene 3. Survivors' whispers. Now, some say there were survivors, a handful of villagers who weren't home when it happened. One man claimed that the night before his village disappeared, he heard a deep, unnatural hum rolling across the fields. He thought it was thunder, until the animals panicked. Chickens fluttered, dogs howled, cattle broke through fences. Another survivor described a dark mist creeping in like smoke. By dawn, his entire home was gone. When asked what he saw, his hands shook so badly he couldn't even hold a cup of water. Low rumbling hum, followed by a distant scream cut short. And perhaps the most unsettling detail: every survivor, every single one, refused to return to the land. It was as if they believed the ground itself had turned against them. A day. Scene 4. The silence of governments. In the 1950s, journalists tried to investigate. Researchers travelled to the forests, determined to document what happened. But their reports vanished. Articles were censored. Files were locked away. One journalist, a man named Victor N., published a story suggesting government experiments were to blame. 2 days later, he was found dead in his apartment. Cause of death? Officially listed as a heart attack. But his friends said he was young, healthy, and terrified. The official explanation? Nothing happened. Those villages never existed. But tell that to the families of the people who vanished. Scene 5. Modern Mystery. Host. Today, the land where those villages once stood is thick forest. Trees swallow what little remains. Stone foundations, broken wells, a rusting plough. No one lives there. No one even hunts there. Locals call it the empty land. And yet, satellites have captured something unusual. Geometric patterns carved into the earth, faint but visible. Some believe it's the mark of forgotten rituals. Others whisper about portals, gateways to another world. And then there's the theory no one wants to say out loud, that the land itself devoured them. Scene 6. Closing chills. Softer, slower. So, what really happened to the 83 villages? Were they victims of war? Of famine? Of something darker? Something we can't explain? The truth is, we may never know. But there's one thing I'll leave you with. If you ever find yourself near those forests, and you hear a low hum in the night, run. Because some places aren't abandoned.